listen to Steel Pulse from them Grammy-nominated album talking about human trafficking. Is not a subject that most artists sing about. This is one of the subjects them where in a big crisis in the world, but most artists not touch upon them kind of thing. We're glad to hear Steel Pulse touch upon it because it's a big thing in the world, you know, especially in Europe and in the what them call the Oriental countries, the Chinese and all these people, them children missing, thousands of children are missing every year. And they are sold into becoming sex slaves and all these things. It's a really a terrible thing. And you know, Jamaica is part of that trafficking also. A whole heap of young girls is sold the idea that them can get visa and go foreign and go work. And end up on the streets and sell them body. And also help people who don't want them help. But those people, them get money for, them call them human slaves who was trafficked from Jamaica. You know, sometimes it is better to suffer in your own country than go to a next man's country and suffer. And a whole heap of these young ladies, it's not that them want to go to do what them end up doing, but they are tricked into doing it. You hardly hear anybody I get old for these things. You hear them I get old for ganja and all them something there, but the human trafficking is really a big, big problem. Big, big problem. This is the cutting edge that I refer me. I go through, you know, say, we're there with you every Wednesday in the rainforest, yeah. Boy, the rain is up at all, boy. I tell you, the rain come today, you know. Yeah, man. The rain come today. Yes. So we give thanks to the rain, you know. Yeah, give thanks to the rain. As I said, a little not cold or compound with little, you know, in them time of year I used to say people start to wear more warmer clothes even though we have summer all through, but right now is the time where America get cold, so we get cold too. America get cold, so we get cold too. Cold in a whole heap of ways. We're there with you. We're there with you. Give thanks to the moment, give thanks to the time, give thanks to the energy. We're there with you upon the cutting edge again, you know. So, America is in the focus, you know, with this election we're going to go on next week. It's really something else, man. I don't know how much people have follow it up, but as me I say now, me stop watch everything now on TV. I just hit me a watch. Me I watch all 4 different channels. News, me I watch CNN, MSNBC, Fox, everything one time. One time me I watch everything. It's amazing. It's amazing where come out Trump mouth. It's like a politician usually I tell you where I'm going to do. The plans where him have for him country. All him do is cuss everybody. Him cuss Kamala, him cuss all Obama, him a cuss. all motherfucking him all a cuss facts now. It's weird. I never know say what a cuss facts, but because I whole heap of the facts people them a wake up to, you know. But it's like him a cuss all the facts people them now. I mean, it's amazing what the man say. What him say, you not expect a man who I'll try win election. Him said he must have voted in him a talk about Kamala and him say he must have voted in the socialists. America will not accept a socialist, especially a woman socialist. Can you believe that? No, I'll me hear that I'm a woman now, you know, say if me not go vote for him, you know, and my family, you know. I'll pay all my family if you don't vote for him. Because the man I talk about some things where you not believe, say, he would have said them something there. And the problem with it, that him have millions of people that follow him. Millions. You know, and black people too. Black people, you have millions of black people that follow him. Him is like a cult leader, man. You know, him is like Jim Jones. For those of you who don't know Jim Jones, you have to go Google it, you know, but I can't explain what Jim Jones is, but it could be like him is like Jim Jones. I that when him not reach Charles Manson level yet. Him not reach Charles Manson level yet, boy, but the brother there, you know, him never take the cake, him not take no cake because nobody there give him no cake, but it's like everybody has said, boy, him have to go. Him have to go. Everybody has said him have to go. I do understand it. Boy. I sit down and I watch him and I hear what I say continuously. I listen to what I say. Because I really want to understand where this brother come from. But him just dead there. And him not stop say what I say. And nobody can tell him to say what I say. And him are the president of so-called one of the greatest countries in the world. Well, I tell you something. You see, all the people around go America, and I tell the Jamaican people them this. I don't think say. Look, even though we are going down here, so we find we are going down here so terrible. But America to me look like a third world country right now. You may I tell you, man, America right now in at the third world level. Yes, third world level. Every possible way you can twist it and turn it, them in at the third world level. No way a man can tell me, say, it's not a third world country that. You know them, it's like a, I don't even know if it describe it as, it's like a pretty coffin with flowers and all them things up on top, but if you open it and you look in there, you see where in there. Yeah, it's like a coffin. One of them nice gold-plated angle coffin with flower, like them coffin them I make now with like house or Mercedes Benz. If I put dead body in I saw America come like. It's not a nice place, Rasta. It's not a nice place. I mean, I really cheer for nobody in this thing. I mean, I cheer for nobody. But like to say, if we can him have some gunman on the road, they say, man, them call themselves militias. Trust me, them call themselves militias. And me I tell you, them strap up on the road, you know. Because in America, it's legal to do them something there, you know. Because you have policemen over that side and them stand up over the other side. And them have the most, if you ever see the gun them with them have, you know, ready. And the police them over there so stand up, them ready too. And then the black people, the Black Panther movement, everybody strap up, ready. I don't know where I got why. All I know say, you see the people them who the America who are listen to me. If we not go vote, just go vote early and run, go back in the yard. That's what I tell you, you know. Just go vote and run, go back in the yard. Make sure someone have no food and all them something there. I don't know if nothing going to happen, you know, but the way the people them are going and the way Trump are going. Yeah, the courts rules say them can't have no vote, no count no vote, have no voting after when at the fourth or the third after the election, them can't have no counting and no ballot. Them ballot, there's no land void. So right now, them have 6 days to carry in your ballot, and them say, if you do it now, by, what you call it, absentee voting, the possibility that your vote will not be counted. So they must say, you must go personally. The American people is asked to go personally, go take them things and carry go to the office, go put it down in the office and make sure say you vote that way there. Because the man usurp the post office, you know. The man usurp the post office. Yeah, man, him usurp the post office right now. Absentee voting is null and void, you know, the way you do it. But I may tell you, this is something else. America, the great America. May I tell you, Lee Scratch Perry, I listen to Lee Scratch Perry. Anybody's Lee Scratch Perry, a model for Gucci. Yeah, man. Gucci get him to have all them clothes. 84-year-old or 82-year-old. Lee Scratch, you know, man. I want to him there on the grill. Why you love Lee Scratch anyway there, you know? My brother Lee Scratch, man. I want to see the man hold up him and oh gosh, man. You know, never know, so the man 80-year-old, you know. Anyway, we give thanks. So the man that live so long, him not look like him have no pain or no nothing. And him a go through same way and a tour same way like any young boy, man. I draw a big crowd same way in Europe. Well, not now, through the COVID, but, you know, when it out there, the man I draw a big crowd and I get show like, wow. Anyway, we want to yell up Dalton, you know. Yeah, we want to yell up Dalton. Because it's a bridging where I can't even say what I'm going to say, but anyway, you want to know, we want to yell up Dalton Brownie. We want to yell up Glenn Brownie. We want to yell up all the Brownie bunch were there and recognize that right now this is not a good time for the family to have one in a hospital wanting blood and having heart attack in them time, yeah. Because really and truly, no, you can't trust hospital nowadays. But this is where you go when you get sick. So we wish the brethren to get through. I want to tell you, I want to yell up Freddie McGregor too. Because, yes, Freddie McGregor, you know, man. I know how you feel, brethren. I know how you feel. Anyway, brethren, great musician, great producer. I will just hope say him go through and go back on the road again next year. We hope for that. Yeah. I mean, well, we have said that in a sadness. We have said today is Baban's birthday. Baban died this year. But a man called me and asked me if I choose a certain one dead. And me I said, brethren, Baban dead from earlier in the year. It's a birthday them I celebrate, not a death day. And it's not even Baban them I ask me about. Why Jamaican people are easy, you know. Once somebody hears something, you know, and them spread it till it reach. Till a man will call me and ask me if that certain person is dead. Me say, boy, I don't hear nothing about that, you know. A Baban the birthday them I celebrate. So for those of you who have it by your lip, about the other person, me I tell you, say it's Baban them I celebrate, them birthday. And recognize that. Sir. Anyway, we have some interview for do, you know. We have interview for do. We have, I think it's Urban Miller supposed to link with us so in the night, yeah. The man they has a ball about 2 hours late and all them something there, you know. Anyway, we have an interview talking about Heritage Fest goes virtual. Heritage Fest goes virtual. This is October. Today, it starts today. The Institute of Jamaica will be hosting the annual Heritage Fest on Friday, October the 30th, 2020 at 10 a.m. via live stream on the IOJ's YouTube page. The Institute of Jamaica, this 4th staging of the event is under the theme Treasures of IOJ. Every object tells a story. And we'll be highlighting some notable artifacts from various collections of the divisions of the IOJ. So that is something where a younger can see it online. I hate that something I say when you Zoom. I hate it. You can't tell me what I eat it like I eat fly, you know, a rat. Trust me, man. I don't know. Somebody will come up with it and make millions and billions of dollars because some people chew them now for pay for certain people. Them just call a person and just say, boy, I like you appear upon me things, you know. And there it goes. No airfare, no hotel accommodation, nothing. Benefits, there's big benefits. But, sure, I don't like that Zoom thing there now. But the Zoom, well, I guess it's Zoom, they're going to do it, no, it's YouTube. They're going to do it on YouTube. Institute of Jamaica. So I talk to somebody from Institute of Jamaica, I think I'm going to start at 11. I'm going to start to them at 11. We don't want to cut into what we are doing so now. Okay. So we're going to play this tune now. I can say this tune now. Brand new tune as we talk about the Brownie. Glenn Brownie. We want to yell up Glenn, you know. Glenn a produced tune. Glenn have all him own studio now. Love it. I'm there with you next Wednesday night to Mrs. Nicole, and it's in relationship to what I just. Good night, Mrs. Shah.
Good night, Muta. How you doing?
Should I say Mrs.?
It works any way you want to call it. Nicole Patrick Shaw. That's fine.
All right.
Same person.
All right. So, the virtual thing now, I just had to a Zoom thing, you know, and it's virtual thing, but I guess it's not virtual. People to be, I mean, I know after the promotion, but to be on YouTube, what you're exhibiting, all of it going to be on YouTube.
Musa, you're breaking up.
Oh, yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I was asking you. You can hear me good? Okay.
Okay.
All right, you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. I was trying, we're going to start over now. I was trying to find out if all of the exhibits will be virtual, or you can come to the institute and see it, or the institute is not open.
No, since we have been closed since March 13th.
Oh, yes?
Yes, government guidelines. One of the protocols established the closure of all museums, galleries, and libraries until it is perceived that it is safe to reopen.
But the museums and the library is the most, what you call it, physically distancing place you can go indoor.
Yeah, yes, Musa, but it's also one of the areas that you will have a lot of persons gathering. To ensure, all right, so we are close to the public, but that doesn't mean that person still cannot access the resources that are available in these spaces. So it is for that reason that we have started to do a lot of virtual programs. So you can do virtual tours of the museum. If you need any information, you still can call us. You can do research. So if you need to do research, we are still open for persons to have access to the information. But to say that you're going to allow
to come in,
that is not allowed at this time. Because right now we're having community spread of COVID-19, and the government initiative to try and curtail the spread.
I understand that.
Yeah, but at the same time, we don't want the public not to have access to their museum, not to have access to their libraries, because that is an important part of the educational development and the social wellness of the people. I can ask you. When you log on and you go to the YouTube, what is it that you're seeing? What is it? All right, so the event that we are promoting for Friday is called Heritage Fest. the treasures of the Institute of Jamaica. Every object tells a story. So it's just one of our signature events. At this event, we're going to introduce the public to the Institute of Jamaica, because not a lot of persons are okay with the Institute and its mandate, which is the encouragement of literature, science, and art. I'll introduce them to the various divisions. Most persons who do African study are not aware of the African Caribbean Institute of Jamaica, Jamaica Memory Bank. Persons doing study on Marcus Garvey, they don't really know, some of them, I should say, not everybody, is not aware that you actually have a Liberty Hall. It exists on King Street, and it is an original building built by Marcus Garvey. Liberty Hall at 76 King Street, and it is to celebrate his life and legacy. So you have a research and reference library there. You have artistic program for children, adult computer classes, psychosomatic programs for children, outreach programs. A lot of fantastic things are happening at Liberty Hall, and some persons don't know. You can introduce persons to Liberty Hall, introduce them to the National Museum of Jamaica to make them aware that we have museums in Jamaica. So it's not only when you go find it in museums, but there are museums in Jamaica, in Kingston, in Montego Bay, and in Spanish Town. And they can access these spaces.
All right, so I can ask you,
yes.
Will there somebody in the video that is guiding the people them virtually? Like you have somebody saying, and over here is this and that, but you have a physical person in the video?
Yes. So we are going to show persons the location of the different divisions. We're going to let them have just see the directors of each location for them to understand the mandate of each division. And then what we're going to do is just to showcase some of the things in our collection. We can't show them everything, because even the African Caribbean Institute of Jamaica have over 12,000 images, 800 videos, 2,400 audio tapes of interviews and recordings of festivals. We can't go through all of that within the hour, but at least persons will understand that there is that content out there. You can access it. It is not something alien to you. It is our record. It is Jamaican. All things there is Jamaican. So you can have access to it. So we try to make the public aware that all of this information is not sitting there just to hold up space. It is there for them to access the information and to get a better understanding from
So Friday now, how you access it, this exhibition?
All you need to do, it's scheduled to start at 10 o'clock. So you go to our Institute of Jamaica YouTube page, and it starts at 10 o'clock. Simple. We watch music videos on YouTube. All we have to do is type in Institute of Jamaica, and our YouTube page comes up, and the program is there at 10.
Okay.
And now, since everybody's on digital, even my parents, you know that it is like 1, 2.
All right. How long it lasts for? How long it will last for, this exhibition?
We don't want it to be too long for persons.
No, after Friday. After Friday.
It will be up. It will be always on our YouTube page.
So how long? For how long?
We usually keep it up like for next 2 months or so.
Okay. All right. That's nice.
Yes.
All right, I don't know.
We don't want to take that information down, because we know that persons might miss the launch on Friday, but at least they will have it for some time to use it as a reference for whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah. All right, it sounds good. Yeah. You have artifacts. What kind of where the artifacts coming from? Where you get?
Muta is Jamaican artifacts.
No, I know, but who for collections you're going into?
Who collection? It is the collection that we have. It's some of them is that what we have purchased. some have been donated depending on which division that you're looking at. So, for example, we have the Jamaica Music Museum. We have artifacts from persons who are in the music industry. Even Toots that just passed the other day, he had donated his guitar to us.
Okay.
We have a number of musical instruments in the collection. For the Jamaica Music Museum. For the Liberty Hall, we have artifacts that were even given by persons who are Garveyites. So we have newspaper clippings, we have Marcus Garvey cane, we have Marcus Garvey's table, we have Marcus Garvey's mother's Bible, we have some paintings done by persons, some renowned artists on Marcus Garvey, and we have a number of collections on Afrocentric books that have been written on Africa and on the importance of Garvey's philosophy.
My wife actually donated a bench that Marcus Garvey used to use when he was at Benjamin, when he used to work there. She donated to the Marcus Garvey. Right,
so that is here too. So we also have persons who are Garveyans and Garvey sympathizers who give us things to the collection. So that's how we usually collect our artifacts.
Okay. Well, it sounds good. I want the people them tune in because the Institute of Jamaica
YouTube page.
Just put it in YouTube page and you just press a button and you're gone.
Yes.
That is good. Okay. All right, Mama. Give thanks.
Yes, thanks much for having me.
Yeah, man. Give thanks.
I'm going to look out for you.
Oh, you're going to look out for me. I'm not coming down here. You can't see me. That's it now, man. All right. I guess that's the normal thing to say to somebody. I'm looking out for you, know. You can't look out for you on virtual. Anyway, that was Nicole Patrick Shaw, and she is responsible right now for direct you to this thing that is taking place on Friday. Start at 10 o'clock. It's the IOJ, Institute of Jamaica, virtual exhibition. Yes, virtual exhibition. And I can't say be there. Because you can sit in your house and be there.
If you have freedom, and if you think you're supreme.
Yes. We're there with you. We want to talk about a most auspicious time in Rastafari community, which is the coronation of Emperor Haile Selassie I, 2nd of November coming up. We have Empress Wallet on the stage. Good night.
Greetings.
Oh, give thanks. All right. You have to remind me what IDOR stands for.
Yes, I. Greetings.
Yeah.
Yes, I. Blessings and give thanks. So IDOR is the acronym representing the universal development of Rastafari.
Okay. And where it's situated? The group, is there a place?
Oh, I pray. So, yes, a 501c3 organization in Maryland, Virginia, and the D.C. area.
Okay.
Yes, I'm promoting the teachings, life examples of Kidamawi Haile Selassie I.
All right. So, the coronation, very important, very significant. Wayne? Yeah, Wayne. Ras Wayne.
Yeah, man. Rastafari, blessings, brother.
Give thanks. And everyone who said I did it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. We've been incognito sometime. We don't talk too much these days, so we listen a lot now, you know?
Okay. All right. Well, I can talk to the sister then. She look like she can talk a lot. All right.
No, me dep on the same accord with Ras Wayne, you know. But
So,
yeah,
then how the interview go work out?
Yeah, man. The appropriate sound to the black, my beloved brother. Yeah, I know.
All right. The coronation represents a lot of things for a lot of people. The organization, IDOR, what is it that is going to happen? Why it is important to promote an event? What is it what is going to happen? The IDOR, what are they going to do?
yes, sir. So the event specifically is what the eye is asking. Yes.
Yes.
Right. So the coronation celebration, IDOR traditionally has grand coronation events. First year, I don't know if the eye is privy, but it was held at the Ethiopian Embassy, and it was the first of its kind. This year, celebrating.
I think I was in New York at the time.
Oh, I wasn't in the region. Yes, sir. So yes, at the Ethiopian Embassy in DC. Right. So the event will have panel presentations. There will be a panel presentation on the global impact of the coronation. There will be another presentation on the 90 years since, and it will be viewed in the trimesters of, I believe, 30 years, the 3 trimesters of 30 years, totaling 90 years since the coronation, and another presentation on the blue fire, feminine energy of the coronation, and that would be referencing Empress Menen. There will also be footage, the original footage from the coronation, footage that was shown first year at the embassy. It's owned by IDOR via the Smithsonian Institute. So that footage will be shown, close to about 40 minutes of live footage, first to be seen by many. There'll also be small musical interludes. There will be Nyabingi Isis and chanting coming out of St. Croix in the USVI, as well as prayerfully we hope to have some Isis and some gathering, maybe coming live from Pit 4.
This is virtual, right? This is virtual.
It's all virtual, yes, via the Zoom platform, yes.
Yeah. But everything will be happening in the embassy again.
No, it will take place in its own spaces. If the ISIS for St. Croix will come via Zoom
by Zoom.
Everything is a Zoom platform. Yes, this is the times that we're in, as the I know.
Yeah.
Yes,
all right. Can you tell me something about the organization, the aims and objectives of the organization?
Yes, Wayne, can the I come forward with that small piece, please? As the chairman of IDOR. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, man, give thanks to the Muta and the listening public. So, as rightly said, Universal Development of Rastafari Inc. is a non-profit organization with some very specific and basic aims, It's really the promotion of the life examples and teachings of the King, and to look at issues relating to contemporary society from the prism of the King, the teachings and life examples of the man, and to present that in forums that is not secondary to anything, but primary to the development of black people, African people worldwide. So it is to reposition, if I and I will, the black ethos as primary to all other things, centering I and I, focus on I and I identity as Ethiopian African people, and therefore leaders within the platform of I and I, humanity, and to assume that role based on preparation, as His Majesty said, organization and centrality of purpose, So this is the writ large objective of the organization, and, conduct ourselves in whatever spaces I and I find ourselves to teach young people, to interact with the public, and to show the life example, show the individual. And
So you have programs in Washington and Maryland that manifest and address this situation?
Yes, I. Consistently, looking first at the Ethiopian Rastafari calendar and then bridging that with other potential. So I market myself to wherever the spaces are, whether they're at libraries, in colleges and universities, in high school, in whatever forum to have these discourses and present information on this reality, this black identity.
I hear somebody talking.
Yes, I think the person was mentioning IDOR also has, one of those unique platforms where for the past decade or so, we have a study group where we look at the teachings and life examples again of the king, the speeches, and to go through them so I understand fully both the capacity of the man and therefore the work that is passed forward to I to really do in seeking to build this new African identity and this reality that we talk about all the time. We say we have to know who Rastafari is. So
I'm going to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
When people talk about the teachings of His Majesty, a lot of time when I hear people talk about the teachings of Majesty, them start to quote the Bible. We know that His Majesty have a lot of things that him say as an individual, as an emperor. But most of the times I hear a whole heap of Rasta say, His Majesty say, His foundation is in the holy mountains and all these things. I kind of have an objection to it because there's so much thing that His Majesty say that we can relate to, rather than even quoting the Bible and then saying His Majesty say. How you see that?
So one's going to have different perspective on them spirituality and their relationship with the Bible, which for many ones inform them about His Majesty. But I first about Emperor Haile Selassie I and Empress Menonafo. And therefore, in fact, from an organizational and personal perspective, I first look to the guidance of His Majesty in the life, the practicality of a man on earth and the physical things.
Okay.
And I solve physical problems. And I bring people out of physical poverty, physical ignorance. Yeah, and I bring forward enlightenment to the people.
Yes.
First by 1931. So let me frame a little bit of something before I jump off of this piece. Because Empress talk about this emergence of a new identity, black identity, and the trimesters within which I want to frame this 90 years. So you look at from 1931 to 1960, what happened in Ethiopia. There were attempts to abort this idea of black supremacy, a black man standing at the pinnacle of black people's consciousness and other people having to bow to that. And abortive efforts have gone through, within that period we see glorification, we see His Majesty rise up within the dignity of world consciousness, but many attempts to undermine the emperor. So we'll focus on that, we'll present that so people see the ebbs and flows of this identity, the sowing of a seed, 1961 to 1990, what occurred within that period. 1990 by 1990, you see the devolution, if you will, of white supremacy at least in Ethiopia, and the potential for a new consciousness to rise up. You see Rastafari 92 go into Ethiopia, Shashamane, and represent a new presence. But we have brought some things, yes, that perhaps we're not as, and now we are still by 2020, you're now seeing the completion of a 90-year cycle of consciousness that must now give birth to a product. I have to make sure I know what that product is, own it, and bring it forward to the people. And so you see in birthing, as you know, Muta, with their children, it is traumatic, it is painful, and it brings some level of grief. But at the end of that process, anticipation is that there is something joyous and good for every people. But it's I have to bring it forward. I have to
confidence.
Yes,
Yeah, man. Well said. And the guy said, I not talk.
Well, you see it. I love it.
All right. Tell me when the celebration start. When it start, what time it start, how long it will go on for.
So,
yes, I blessings. Yes, I Muta. So it will be Monday, of course, Coronation Day, High Holy Day, November 2nd. It will begin at 5 p.m. And I will be on the same time with Jamaica on Coronation Day, 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So 3.5 hours between the footage, the panel presentations, the musical interlude, and the opening and the sealing of the Nyabingi chanting and Isis.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
As I ask you a question, that is totally off the wall. The Rastafari community in Maryland and Washington, how them relating to what's happening now in America with the election taking place? Or they just ignore it?
No, well, no, I don't believe. I don't believe I and I are ignoring it, and I live here in this region. I don't think Rastafari is out there on the early voting lines, but I know definitely that, ones and ones are, in a way anxious to see what would take place, on one hand. And on the other hand, I and I are speedily making repatriation preparations. IDOR has recently embarked on a fact-finding mission, a repatriation initiative, and the goal is really to cure land, on the continent to begin the construction of a repatriation community, in the motherland. So, the elections is not really of urgency to I and I because it's just, and I know by now it's the less of the two evils or the evil of the two evils, So in that vein, and I realize that the exit, is really a partial solution and redirecting the path, for the continent, being part of Africa's trajectory, as members of a new race. Yeah, so that's really the idea for most of I and I.
All right. Well, give thanks. I mean, as we said, the coronation is very important to the Rastafari community. It's like a rebirth, a revelation when His Majesty and his wife crowned Emperor of Ethiopia and Empress of Ethiopia, that we could have said a new beginning. That's really what it is. African people could have said a new beginning through that coronation, We give thanks to Leonard Howell to recognize how important it is that we, as black people, as African people, should have focused and center our whole being on this event that took place in 1930. So give thanks, brethren and sisters, give thanks for that.
Yes, we love it. Love today and the audience and just more guidance and blessings. Rastafari.
You have anything where you want to say before we move? Because I might forget a day to rant if we never mention that. I will never mention that. Hey?
Yes, the Zoom ID for the meeting is 839-2282-8926. Yes, again, meeting ID for the Zoom on November 2nd at 5. It's 839-228-28926.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, blessed, Rastafari. Give thanks.
Perfect love to one another.
Blessing. Yes, thanks. Blessing.
This is the cutting edge. Different story, We have a total different story. And we have to tell it. We have to tell the story. The story will not be told in its true essence if the lion don't tell the story when the hunter come. Because the hunter tell the story all the while and mix up the thing. The hunter come in at the premises of the lion when the hunter kill the lion, it is hunted, and it is a game. When the lion kill the hunter, you hear it as a savage beast. We have to recognize how important it is to be a lion in your own cage, in your own habitat. And when the hunter come, you have to make sure him know say you will eat him. Yes, so we have to do it. So we continue the journey. Okay, all right. I'm going to take the call. Here.
Mr. Muta.
Listen.
Give thanks, man.
All right, sir.
Yeah, man, listen every week, man. I'm glad to get a chance to call you this evening. I call from Manchester and Williamsfield, David.
Manchester, okay.
Charles Morgan, man.
Mm-hmm.
Give thanks, man. Loving the program, man.
Give thanks.
Yes, man. And there's Mr. Amber when the IM play on your record. I mean, I try to get you to play, but last year I never get to. But that's how I go.
Come again. Wait about that.
Mr. Last Ryan the IM Amber play on your record. I mean, I try
yeah.
So enough respect, yes. I'm just saying that can everyone here.
Yeah, man. Give thanks. Yeah.
Give us thanks, yes.
All right. So, I want to play this to the people, them, you know. Really want to play this to the people, them. All right, so, Okay. Make it so I go on here, so. Because if I can get it right, so.
Violence that exists on the surface everywhere. Because of the violence that exists on the surface everywhere, you have to expect.
So that's the voice of Angela Davis. But we want to start it from
This year's protests forced more Americans to face these realities and see they're not about some kind of rare exception or just bad apples. Americans reminded this year of other lives that mattered, other innocent black people killed. Walter Scott, shot to death in the back. Laquan McDonald, 17 and shot to death with 16 police bullets. Freddie Gray, tossed into a van where he died of a neck injury. Eric Garner, a father choked to death in broad daylight in an eerie precursor to the George Floyd video that upset so many Americans. Linwood Lambert, who police handcuffed and drove to a hospital where he was supposed to get needed medical care. He was denied that by police, who used their tasers 20 times. He died in police custody. Each story about each life may break through more than the numbers, but here in the news, we'll show you the numbers tell the same story. Police kill about 1,000 people a year. The rate continuing at the same pace this year, 804 killings so far, per the Washington Post. It's the same pace for charges. Before 2016, police could go years in a row without a single murder conviction, despite thousands of killings. Now, that's ticked up slightly in just these most egregious killings caught on tape. One officer convicted about per year over the past 5 years, in research by Philip Stinson. Now, just as some Americans rush to overestimate how Obama's victory might end racism, this year it would be the wrong lesson to assume that the scrutiny I just showed you on police brutality and racism is curbing.
Hey, I want to listen to these statistics that are coming out of America. Listen to the statistics that come out of America. Okay.
The actual deployment of systemic racism. So all of that drove the protests. But numerically, police brutality is actually the smallest part of systemic racism. Yes, all those videos that you just saw there about the sliver of the justice system that just deals with arrests, the first part of any police interaction. But the majority of the economic and racial injustice exists elsewhere. So, for example, in America, did you know that most of the people in our jails are innocent? That sounds weird, right? But under the cash bail system, if you're rich, you're innocent until proven guilty and you prepare for trial at home. If you're not, you're innocent until proven guilty, but stuck in jail until trial because you can't pay bail. Well, being in jail doesn't feel very innocent. Most people in our jails are awaiting trial. 90% can't afford bail. The system disproportionately discriminates against black Americans, from how judges apply it to the higher poverty rates driving incarceration. Now, those are numbers. Here's a person. 28-year-old Sandra Bland was pulled over for not using a turn signal, then arrested, then jailed on a $5,000 bond that she couldn't afford. Now, she later died in jail, bringing extra scrutiny to her case, but most Americans cannot afford these bonds. And the over-policing of black Americans means they run into this cash problem more often. That's just bail. Then there's the trial itself. Americans see crime shows where everyone gets their day in court, but that's fiction. Most cases never go to trial like that. And you can see why tonight. Legally innocent defendants held in jail, where they lose their jobs if they have them, no money for bail or a good lawyer. They face huge pressure to plea, and most take the deals. That's unfair to the poor and tilted by race because prosecutors systematically push more jail and plea deals for black defendants than whites. And then judges sentence them to more time for the same crime, especially in the drug charges that clog our system. So black Americans end up imprisoned at 5 times the rate. So those police brutality videos are important this year, but they are simply the most visible, shocking part of this much wider system, which is harder to catch on video, harder to swiftly expose all its cruel catch-22s and raw deals. Now, the iconic filmmaker Ava DuVernay's documentary 13th does some of that, showing how slavery is the foundation for mass incarceration.
It's with the Nixon era and the law and order period when crime begins to stand in for race. The prison industrial complex relies historically on the inheritances of slavery.
And in that Nixon era, those White House aides for Nixon later admitted they saw the war on drugs as a way to get the public to associate blacks with heroin, to criminalize them and disrupt those communities. From DuVernay to the scholar Michelle Alexander to the writer James Baldwin, many have emphasized these are not new systems. They continue old ones.
We are still governed by the slave codes. Now, when I say a slave rebellion, I mean that what is called the civil rights movement was really insurrection.
So everything I just told you is actually just a relatively brief tour of racism in criminal justice, which itself is one slice of systemic racism in the rest of America. For that, I want to go just briefly through a top 10 list. Number 10, the American dream of owning a home. Most white Americans do, compared to a minority of black Americans. 9, the dream in any meritocracy, higher education. Most whites graduate college. Most black Americans don't. And the racial wealth gap persists apart from education, bringing us to 8. White American households with only a high school diploma make about $100,000 a year. Way more, 10 times more than the wealth of black households with the same exact education. It gets worse. 7 in 10 Americans today. I should say 7 on our list of 10. If you're a white person with only a high school degree in America today, you're going to make more than a black American with a bachelor's degree. So when you hear that people should just pull themselves up and get an education and get to work, remember, race kicks in to block fair pay for that progress regardless. Here's another example of how, bringing us to number 6. Statistically, many employers prefer to hire a white, formerly convicted criminal over a black applicant with no record. Think about that. That's all just business as usual. And it stokes wider inequities for when new problems hit. Like 5, the recession hits everyone, but it's hitting black communities harder. 4, the pandemic pushing far more black Americans into hunger. And 3, into missing housing payments. And 2, driving more black businesses into bankruptcy than other companies. All the way to number 1 right now. All the long-term factors that make black Americans twice as likely to die from the coronavirus. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from...
Yes, it's a serious thing. You hear the man say, they would have prefer hire a ex-convict, a white ex-convict, than maybe a college degree black person. You can't believe that, man. And these are statistics, these are data coming out of America since this year. And you know what caused all of those data to rise up so and everybody do all these things? Donald Trump.
Because of the violence that exists on the surface everywhere, you have to expect that there are going to be such explosions.
And much of that violence comes from the state. Many have noted that curbing state violence through even meager historical civil rights measures still functions to protect the elite.
Every civil rights bill in this country was passed for white people.
Some very, very good friends of mine were killed by bombs that were planted by racists.
White people beat up black people every day. Don't nobody talk about nonviolence. But as soon as black people start to move, the double standard comes into being.
That's why when someone asks me about violence, I just find it incredible.
Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
MLK arguing that justice is right, but it's also good for a safe society. And when we face racism, we must face that for all the talk about nonviolence in the 60s or now, it's of course violence that took down many black leaders.
We all know what happened to Malcolm. We all know what happened to Martin. The list is long. That is the result of a slave rebellion.
Baldwin bringing it back to that prism of a slave rebellion. Now, we're almost done with this piece tonight, but the last part is key. Because this history lives on. These same dilemmas about radicalism and racism were later tackled by a 34-year-old American who had yet to win any political office, recounting why Malcolm X inspired him as an even younger man.
The section that I'm going to read for you right now takes place during my adolescence. And I'm a very angry man. Only Malcolm X's autobiography seemed to offer something different. We were always playing on the white man's court. The only thing you could choose as your own was withdrawal into a smaller and smaller coil of rage, until being black meant only the knowledge of your own powerlessness. Should you refuse this defeat and lash out at your captors, they would have a name for that too, a name that could cage you just as good, like paranoid, or militant, or violent, or
a 34-year-old Barack Obama wrestling with the depth of America's racism, recounting Malcolm X's inspiration, and also explaining why he, Obama, broke with that militance, facing his own heritage and seeking a new world.
Down the road to self-respect, my own white blood would never recede into mere abstraction. So I was left to wonder what else I would be severing if and when I left my mother and my grandparents at some uncharted border. And two, if Malcolm's discovery towards the end of his life that some whites might live beside him as brothers in Islam seemed to offer some hope of eventual reconciliation, where were the people who would work towards this future and populate this new world?
Obama took that spirit all the way to the White House and moved a Democratic Party that, to be clear, does not have some universally great record here. There was racial progress in the civil rights era, and then many Democrats took steps backwards in fortifying mass incarceration.
No way. Without a doubt, you don't have no problem to say racism. America is a racist country. Yeah, man. America is a racist country. Nobody have no problem to say that again.
Mota.
Yeah, blessed man.
What?
Cutting edge.
Man, I know over history a long time. I want to talk to you, man.
Oh, yeah? Well, you get a chance now.
When I Malcolm this, that's it.
You want to do what?
Malcolm, man, from the Malcolm X, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I tell us, yo, it's a job I still but me love what you do, you know? I want time did call about to and tell me say more I see you want to talk to you. But you know something I'll go through and sit and then we are there. But you know me just the praise still there, you know?
Yeah, man, of course.
Yeah, man. Me have a man who did get shot, man, and throw down, man, and no go on for me. You see?
You got the man who get what? Shot?
Me have one of the man who did get shot in my eye, man, and then take away my things, them, and say, me.
When that happened? When that happened?
We are back in 2010. I found that time they may try to get there.
From 2010?
Yeah, man.
That's not 10 years ago, man.
Then I hit me tell us that some things are gone through and just easy back. But me sure say, you know, that time I love what you do, you see it.
Yeah, so tell me how you get shot. Tell me how you get shot.
Like, I don't want me to get shot up, man, lose me eye.
No, man, say, tell me how you get shot up. Me not tell you what when you get shot.
Like one man in me gun bush, you know. Like me gun bush with me go at them. And so man just back me down with them gun, man. Bomb in my face. You see that?
Just like that?
Just like that. Yeah, 30 years ago, then take them when me have 5 horses, then take them when I need. Yeah.
So them not catch them?
Eh?
Them catching the man, them?
Yeah, they catch them and let them go back. Because you me lose me, yeah, you see it.
You can't identify them?
Yeah, that they say, you see it. But when I turn on man, there I have me things I want to place, you see it. My house and come with 5 horses and a motor. And then take them where I go to the big troops, the man, they tell them, say, yo, if the man then take where my things are, then have them should have can't follow me, go ask the man, them say, oh, no comes by my things, them not so. Them say, them can't follow me to do them, they sit in the car. Me can't see, and me have the youth them round me, because the youth them name them and sit me, you see me?
Yeah, the youth them know they ask them too.
Yeah, they know them, because they born in my hand, you see it.
Yeah.
But that thing that just go through and we are just there to survive. You know.
So where do you know? Where do you know?
Again, cause the credit
where do you know?
balance, that's it.
Where do you know? Where do you know?
Just little farming me do like, man. Little banana. Cause I always tell with the farm, you see it?
Yes.
I just say little things that me do and I still buy back to water, you know.
Okay, still I go on. Give thanks, man. Give thanks.
Pick run, you see it?
Yeah. So where your family there? Where your family there?
Family there and there, my foot see away, man. But you know what, the gun turn up, everybody just ease off, because then say gun in the road, and if the law can't help the gun, you understand me?
Okay.
Everybody just back down and say, oh, you know what, just slow, so sitting and make it go on, you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, 10 years ago, man. From that time, they are taking longer than that still, you know.
Yeah.
Suppose me tell us sitting where me talk about one day anyhow.
One
day me say, you know, say man like Muta to get one day player in the day. And you know, say about 2 weeks after that, me hear the announce, say, you they get one day player. You don't start come Thursday.
Oh, the stepping razor.
Yeah, right. Till I'm Rasta Bedouin, then they tell me, say me a prophet, man. Because he start sitting there, man, he help me. You understand me?
All right, sir. Give thanks for that.
Here what more you do. You see an idea? You see, you play one as when they come on, where you tell people, them say the beauty of their life and sitting. Like you tell them how the loving stay, you know? More you have to play me a pitney there here, you understand?
You sure you're not in the night I play? The one where you want to hear
every time when you don't, every time when you don't come on, man, you always play like you say. The beauty of you, you know?
Teach your children.
Take away the beauty of you say, you know? Your beauty in your own way and life is like, is our journey.
I know, man, tonight I play it, man, and at night I play it, and then at the day.
No, I hit me tell us every night when they come on you play.
Oh, teach your children. Me play it a while ago.
You then can hear it.
Me play it a while ago.
Every night you play when they come on, man.
All right, sir. So you want me play it at the day? You want me play it at the day?
They come on at the time they play.
So you want me play it at the day?
Yeah, more you playing at the day, more the youth there here. Because enough time they tell me that about you, but every time in the drop asleep, and you live with my parents, them you know live with me. Because like if you give me a challenge to make you hear, you see.
Well, I'm playing the next tune after you hear.
Yo, respect you know more.
There's a reward for you.
You're king in a man. I mean a man come. I hear my brother make call.
Yeah, man, give thanks. Give thanks.
I hear up your bed, you know, call it from over stuff.
Mandingo.
Where I call it Mandingo. We always say more talk to the brother. They come here music to in a motor.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Me have music brain. Me have want music when I deal with you, you know.
All right, wrap a move.
You know? Come on, you have more you do for me down.
All right. Yeah?
Hello?
Yeah, bless you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
Yeah, man. That's a heal up. You got motor, you don't know. Listen
Yeah, man, I'm going to talk to you.
Yeah, man. Big up Rasta Crew, too, because when he used to go to college of agriculture, when they used to come through.
Oh, yeah, I see him today.
See him today, yeah, man. I'm going to get things, man. Sorry to the show can't keep, but don't to the show can't keep next year. But we see what can go on.
Which show?
This is the poem. Right now,
it's a key virtual, man. Virtual show.
Virtual. So all the see them on exchange.
Well, you know, can send it through your email. I don't know what kind of question they ask me. I tell them about virtual show, you know, only see them on exchange. Send it virtual, man. Email style.
It took a long time I stuck through motor, man.
Yeah, man, a long time, yes.
Jews on there. Jews on primary, what, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Enough love and enough respect.
All right, so what kind of work you do now?
You know, say currently unemployed, because I used to work at Caribbean Ballers. When we leave case, but in 2018, we end up resigning, but since then, I've been sending out several applications. I still
not get no work. Where say not get no work?
No, get no work.
No, we don't create one.
Really, the investment are the problem. Investment. Creating work is always there, but the investment.
Okay. So what you do at daytime? What, Netflix?
No, Mark, Netflix is an old school, you know, so no Netflix.
Where you watch?
Old school, man.
So where you watch? YouTube?
Well, you watch news, current affairs, and as you say, we want you to Trump I'm going with, because even if you're not in tune to what Trump I'm going with, you have to really watch him, because you have to wonder if this man really have to think yourself sometimes I watch him.
I tell you. It's an enigma, man. Enigma.
I tell you, man. You have to just anticipate the third, man. Everybody wants to see what going on the 3rd of November.
Hey, watch out. Nobody can give me to live my yard, you know. I'm more interested in that more than PHP and JLP election, you know. I tell you.
I tell you.
Yeah. Anyway, give thanks, Bridget.
You don't know.
Yeah, man. I hope you get to work soon.
Sure. Big up Dr. Paula every year, man.
Yeah, I hear to them a lock down some NCB bank and I can make them automated.
Boy.
All right, sir.
All right, big up.
Yes.
Yeah, Muta. Part of Muta.
All right.
I'm gonna hurt. Hey, you caught me the other day, but you caught me wrong, man. Me never say at the 5G, I think I call it. Me say the 5G there might be there for protect, kind of cause a little protection, you know, towards the
well, anything where you say, no go so. That me I say. So sorry to quote you wrong, but even what you have said now still don't make no sense to me.
It can't happen, sir.
No, I never said it can't happen. I say right now at this moment in time.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense to me what you say.
You know what I say? I do some further research too. And this is just one thing. But them have a
really, you hear the man from Belgium last week?
Yeah, man, but you know him never denied. He never denied.
So yeah, I know, you have to find something. All right, go on talk.
You know denied, Muta.
No, go on talk. What you talk now, man? Go on talk. What you have to say? You have to do some more research.
Big up the Belgium, Reggie.
Yeah, do more research. Talk about the more research. What you talk about?
I have been doing research now, and you have a research come out named Dreads. Dreads like us. We have from longer time. And the Dreads program research is about using electromagnetic waves or electro waves to cure virus. Well, not cure, for us right now, them have it to change moods in the rat. Them have it in a lab rat. Just a change the mood of the lab rat.
So you do that experiment at your house?
No, man, me I talk about something on research.
No, all right. So what you do at your yard at daytime? What you just research? You just a researcher?
Research and listen cutting edge.
No, cutting edge come on in the night.
Yes, it's on the night now, already.
Yeah, but we don't come on every day.
Come on every day in my house, though.
Oh, you got YouTube?
Yeah. Big up, all of them on YouTube.
So, you get, you earn? You go to school? I mean, tell me where you do. How you earn?
Well, as me tell you the last time.
You live with your family?
No, I'm tell you the last time, so I do export stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
And it's go on good for you? It go on good?
Well, it did go on good, but it slowed down, you know.
Where do I export?
Ginger and some other stuff, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
So why not go on good again? People, I know them are ginger, you know.
Yeah.
I know people want ginger.
But couple money they get mashed up because the goods never get reached, so money get mashed up in that transaction there, so.
So let me ask you know, where you do? You go around and collect ginger from people or you working?
Farmers.
Eh? You go get the ginger from the farmers them?
Yeah. Not just ginger, other goods, but
That's why I said we need agro-industry. Where you do you make the ginger into something else.
Man, liquid.
You process the ginger that it can last forever. It won't spoil.
Liquid, man. They have it in a liquid form.
Okay. Concentrate.
Yeah. Powder and liquid. We deal with it. Yeah.
Then you want to know. So when you say you want to invest that?
Yes, because through that I run slow. We don't take an investor. But through that I run slow, I have a thing I work on too. Is ready now, so I can talk about it. So is that thing.
And that more you talk about, you know. That's why I steer the conversation. I steer it. And that more you talk about. You research.
Anyway, so the thing one I work on is a industrial pressure washing machine. So for all of the shopping cart them in the supermarket, they can just put them in and press a button and you wash them. Sanitize. Yes, sorry.
So which part you do that? Which part you carry it? Or you get the supermarket trolley them?
No, man, I sell it to the supermarkets them, man. But I sell it to them. I build the machine them. I'm an engineer too, you know. So I build the machine them and sell it to the supermarket them.
Okay.
But to keep up with the demand is the next thing. So
you have a sample, right?
Yes, sir.
Where is the sample there?
They are in a Spain town.
Okay, maybe I can use it and watch my dog.
Dog might come out with a different without here still. Because as I say, a pressure.
Oh, yeah?
Pressure.
Without here?
Come here, I pressure. So, you know, the dog.
No, we know. But we never do the kind of pressure that you talk about.
Yeah. My favorite egg when it come out.
I love show that work and I love see it though. So when you watch the machine, all right, a supermarket buy one from you know and watch have them trolley. Mm-hmm. So that's what it can do. That is what it is made for. Not else.
Yeah, not just trolley. Anything where you can fit inside, right? If you want to fit, you create them. You know, they create them or carry like they all post milk them.
So how big that machine is?
Well, custom build, but right now it just build for fit trolley.
Trolley.
So so you have like the hand truck them that you can pressurize that or any other sort of thing where you can fit.
So you wouldn't recommend it for watch car because it'll peel off the Duke or
well, all it is enclosed, you know, it's like a box or a cube.
Okay. But should I make a big one for old car?
They already have money watch car about sir.
Then that doesn't know. You want to pressure, you're pressure. So, all right, you know, say. Me always wonder why somebody not open a car wash place where the customer now have to come out of the car. I'm just sit down at the car. Just like foreign.
I think they have one, one there. No, I think so. I drive through somewhere at Kingston. Me hear about it.
I mean somewhere at Kingston. Where you tell me about somewhere, man? Me just have to get excited now and you tell me say you don't know about it.
There, man. I think it there, man. Me hear
find out and tell me where it there. Find out and tell me where it there.
Alright.
Yeah, because I always wonder how cars, you know, you sit on your car, you just go right through. And,
put a bounty on it. Put a bounty on it and me find it.
Put a bounty?
Yeah, find it right away.
What the man talk about, right? I'm going to tell Killer about, say you try to put bounty on him, Killer, you know. Anyway, give thanks, brethren.
Give thanks. One more thing me that ask about is, so many questions I feel. The brethren that we always call from where big up. What name, man?
You mean Mandingo?
I like when the brethren they call in.
Mandingo?
No, man.
Oh, which one?
Next one, where full of information. What name, man? Whoever big up Fireball, big up him too.
No, tell me the one where you talk about, man.
Me know, he may have
big
up
information. Oh, I know it's who you talk. I know how you talk.
He's a big up Fireball.
Send me a... Oh, you mean the one from America? We had a big up the man,
Yes.
I don't know the East. He might have big up the man about the East.
Him rough, man.
Yeah,
you could have been a co-host. You could have been a co-host, man.
You could have been the co-host, too. Where you laugh, because you just tell me two things that impressed me a while ago. And you tell me that the first time you tell me about COVID and 5G and all them something there. Before you tell me about where you are doing, me like you when you use them and do things, you know.
Could I go deeper?
Promote it.
Could I go deeper, but you don't have time for that. I'm just see one news thing about say.
You have to tell me what me not have time for. You have to tell me what me not have time for.
True. I just see a news a while ago say Bill Gates confirm say yes, older people will need more than one shot of the vaccine. And the younger people will get the one shot. And you must say, yes, it is causing people to get sick.
No, wait, hold on. The vaccine is being tested in America.
Yes.
And the Johnson & Johnson, which is one of the people them up for it.
The next
Stop.
company name
Wait, no, man. You know how this to me, I say? You know how this to me?
Yes,
Oh, me attack and you attack and me when you attack, me nobody attack.
True. Johnson.
All right, listen to me now. Johnson & Johnson is one of the people group where is vying for the legitimacy of them vaccine.
Yes.
The other day, they was testing it, and some of the clients them start, when they reach the third stage of the vaccine, them start to see some negative things that happen. So them stop it. That is just Johnson & Johnson. Them
next
start
one
back again.
Right,
the man now listen to me.
All right, go on.
Them start back again. The thing where you must look for now is that the American them say, them now send no vaccine come out of them country until all of them people are right. So the argument about testing vaccine, yes, and testing vaccine, yes, so is not where them are saying, say, 3,000 people decide, said, them are going to make the test go upon them. And when the test done, them have 300 million people, 320 million people in America. And them are look out for them people first. So if you think, say, them are going to want to send out vaccine to go test if it will work on you or not. Them don't test it out on themselves to see if it will work on them or not.
Yeah, me not worry about that. What I think, say, maybe, I wonder if it's possible, say for instance, you live Jamaica.
You don't bring up hypothetical question, man.
But you have to think about it, especially as a person.
No, you have to think about it for fret yourself, for make a fret. You think about it for
No,
Fred?
I'm not afraid. But a reality.
Well, you want somebody in Fred.
Suppose you travel, say you travel go to over your motherland now. You have to go through all 3 different countries. Suppose each of them countries have their own vaccine, and each of them say, me no business where you are come from. Me need you to try if you take my own.
It can't work that way.
Motherland, you overdo it.
Look at you mean if you take if me take a vaccine in America, when me go to Africa, man, I will tell me say no business about America, me must take 3 months.
What kind of you
no, it no go so no, Bridget. No, it don't go so, man. Them have, watch out, it's a connection and a connection and a connection. You know? You see, all the vaccine them were supposed to be appropriate to different country. It got through one authority, which is the World Health Organization. And the World Health Organization is going to decide now if that is suitable and that is not suitable. You can't go take 4 vaccines. Wait, no. You can't go take 4 or 5 vaccines to reach our destination. It's your business that. Them have vaccination where you take this vaccine and it is acceptable to other countries. Just like your passport. Your passport is acceptable to other countries. You don't use 5 different passports because you go through 5 different countries.
Well, I hope so. Just have to watch it.
So you really believe if you go through 4, all right. Sometimes I travel, I go through all 3, 4 countries, you know. Before we reach where I go. So you tell me now, say. So you tell me, say, no, them go institute a law where if you go through the 4 countries, then you have to take 4 different vaccines.
Yeah, because just like what right now, some people say, them now work with what they, who say, or what they...
No, but you can't tell me what you not work with no who. Me can't say me not take no vaccine, you know. But when I say the American, them right now, the American, them a test out vaccine for them people. Them a test the vaccine to give them people first. But you know, so we are going to America.
Yeah, them a get paid for test it, man. On a free
Who a get paid for test it?
The volunteers a get paid.
Yeah, me not say them not get paid, but when I say them a test it for them own people. And that me I say whether them a get paid or not, them a get tests for them own people. And them now go let go the vaccine out there and for them people want the vaccine. So you can't sit down here and say them go test vaccine for Jamaican people and sit down there. Them are test the vaccine already because them want to make sure that for them people get better. It's just simple. So we don't have nothing to worry about vaccine. Because your prime minister don't tell us him going to give it free, you know. That's what you say, you know. And him not going to force nobody to take it. We still have to go watch and see that, you know. We still have to go watch. But when me I say, no, yeah, but your brother sing the show, me not worry about this and me not worry about that. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. If you worry,
I don't worry. Me just have to consider and put it out there.
No, but you put it out there now. Why you put it out there for? You hypothetically talk and you put out something out there. Where you put it? You test the thing out show, that's it. You have to tell me, you have to say, you just tell me, say, Bill Gates, them find something wrong with the vaccine and then them stop. That is propaganda. It's not so it go. The man, the people, them test the vaccine, Johnson take the vaccine. And the vaccine start to have some effect on some of the people, and them stop it. It's about 2 weeks, them stop it, and them start back again. You know, you're gonna jump at about them get vaccine before election. A joke, you know.
Well, the vaccine what Bill Gates talk about, and Johnson, you know, are from Moderna, a 2 company.
A 3 company in America. No, I said them stop the vaccine. No, you know, I tell you, them stop the vaccine. The company, them will do vaccine. When Johnson put the thing out there and the people, them have effect, because them reach the 3rd level, them stop. The company, them stop. Because they want to figure out what is it that is causing this person or these persons to react that way. That is why them stop. Them never stop because them now bother with no vaccine or them come with something else. It's so science go. They must start something and it will work properly. Them figure it out and then them come again. It's not something fake to start talking about and develop another propaganda again. And a little conspiracy around it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to take the vaccine, you take the vaccine. Millions of people are going to take it. And millions of people not take it. A whole heap of Americans now go take the vaccine. Whole heap of people. Just like come see them burn the mask them here today. You have some Trump people that burn masks. Where them burn the mask them for? A joke business.
Yeah, that's a joke business, no.
They never see them do it. You never see the picture where them burn the mask them.
I never see. But
yeah, it's like a political thing for wear masks. A political thing. It turn out and out to mask or not to mask. What kind of foolishness is that?
Black people should have known from a longer time, say, a mask we should have wear from longer time, you know. And I just
no, but black people never know that because a whole heap of black people in the same madness by talking about people why you wear masks and masks no mix for people.
To control you.
Choose, to control you. Oh, mask will control you. Something people use for years. People are using mask to control the virus. The mask is not to control the people. The mask is to control the virus.
Should I wear the mask from 19 or long?
Yeah, anyway. I'm interested in your Washington thing, though. I'm interested in it.
Yeah, man. Maybe
because
one day
I have to watch my dog. Him not have no year left.
There was a question for you, one. But we can't remember them right now.
Well, come back next week. But
big up everybody on the YouTube. But continue to post the video them.
I'm going to tell you about something where you're going to love, you know.
Hold on.
I can't tell you for a year. But you're going to love it.
Call me and tell me.
I don't have no number for you.
Okay.
Left your number where what them call it, the operator don't already. Left your number.
Okay, I feel like you want to tell me about your program where I got start.
Which program?
Ras.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, you're going to let you something and you're not talking.
Yes, man. Yeah, man.
You're going like you're Ras. You're Ras. We are talking about Ras and you're not Ras. Anyway, go on.
Big up, man.
Yeah, Harry. Yes. You saw me, your turn good friend. As simple as that.
Yeah, Musa.
Harry.
Yeah, man. Respect, man.
Give thanks, man.
Yeah, man. We there call Muta. We don't know if we can say a thing. We don't know if
are you the shooter?
Yeah, man.
The shooter. Yeah.
Man, Muta, me I say, I don't know if I can make this happen, though, but would I like if the government them could have cut the road bank them a 1.5 time fee year. Because the 1 time fee year now Muta.
Make the road get little.
Yeah, the road get little. You can't walk on the road. If you walk on the road, I'll be a burr. Burr up and grass in your face and it's get too bad, Muta. It's a shame.
And sometimes the road bad too.
Yeah, that's because the water can't stay in the bank. You have to come in the middle of the road. Yeah, man, that is a thing where government have to really, the people them have to really take a stand and look on that.
One time I hear them chop it?
One time.
Them have Easter job and Christmas job.
Yeah, Christmas time. First time he used to go on every holiday. All Labor Day that used to go on. Nowadays only one time, and when they cut it, they now clean it up, even look worse than.
No, I want to, hey, watch your man. At that part there, you talk about. When them cut the grass, them left it on the road, and nobody no come pick it up for all days. It start become a part of the road.
That more dangerous because the car them slide it. And in the rain time, if a rain it slide it. So it be difficult to car them. You know, me I drive in a car over there and a peep, me see the driver a peep around one corner, you know. Like he get up out I see a peep. Because I don't know the driver them you have to give them a rate too because them can't drive. So really, you know, meet up in a one another in around them corner there because it's dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous, yes. Not to mention the hole them with on the side of the road with from the water. Will it a hole now?
Yeah, boy, I don't know what happened. People them, I don't know, them just in a clean clothes, but them mind not work clean. You know that me happy.
Yeah. You saw the road them stay? You saw the road them stay now?
Yeah.
All the road them with them spend all millions of dollars on. Them a claim to them are going to spend billions again to fix by the same road with this year they make, we don't make a last year.
And it cost only the people them and the people them too. The people them for blame because them just no business. Just a seek for one thing and a look in a one way. Them for seek for look for everything where happen. And she say nah done good. And Muta guess what now? Most of the people them still not get wise up because enough of them still not listen Muta, And enough of them still not listen IRFM because I don't know, them not look. Them a see but them not look.
So yo, welcome to the pop show.
Muta, you know say you never link because we grow the thing them Muta right now and we grow the thing them.
Never link.
I don't know how you want me to do them for you, Muta. If you want me to grow them for you or you want the plan.
Don't fund it like that. Don't fund it like that, Rasta. If you're going to grow it for me, don't fund it like that.
No fun in there?
No, when you grow it for me. No, so no fun like that, man.
Okay, yeah, you want the fun. You want the planting. But Muta, we have to link, And that me I say, and then you can't get the thing. Then you can't get them. Because the last time we do them, I have them, And right now, Muta, them a rain will fall.
I tell you.
Yeah, them rain are terrible.
That rain are terrible, man.
Rain a fall from what they no Muta. But
rain a fall, breeze a blow and chicken out the door.
Yeah. Today we get one rain to them. I never know say no more rain could have left so much.
Me never know that neither. What a piece of rain fall today, Rasta?
Eh?
What a piece of rain fall today.
It's hard, man. Me I tell you so that rain.
Oh, gosh, man, it's water like water, man.
And that 2 times it coming.
I hear what, my pipe lock off, the water there in the pipe because they lock it off.
Oh.
I don't know why they keep locking off the pipe, Rasta. Every week they lock off the pipe, Eh?
Probably them say I get too much water,
No, man, I know me one. The water lock off every to the hour. Wednesday, every Tuesday they lock off the water. Yesterday they lock off the water. And turn it on back when you're asleep.
Yeah. No, they will get the water when you're
They don't have to say they turn on the water when you're asleep. It's not a joke thing. It's not a joke. But no, I see water today. Water. Chow, me I tell you, man.
Well, it's terrible. Maybe it's a sign or I just, Yeah.
I don't know, fine. I just water with sign of what? I mean sign.
No, in terms of the rain, the type
what
of
kind of sign? Tell me what kind of sign you're talking about.
Well, probably Jah just assure we say we have to do more, We have to see more reality. And keep more drain clean and keep more road bank clean and all them things. Yeah, that just
I'm for sure with that.
No, Jah not for sure, but sometimes it's like we don't see because people them look on the road bank them Muta. We can't walk on the road them.
Then you not see it, man. You see it, Then why them not see it? And, why you think you see it and them not see it?
Well, I mean, I know them not look. I say them see, but them not look,
You mean them look what them not see?
Me no know why. Me no know why no Muta.
What?
Like them have got more pop show and color low and them thing there.
Now tell you something, when you go out certain corner, and when you go around the corner and things say the grass around there, so see one of them strips passing with though for your car. Oops.
It worse when you grow on the Muta, me I tell you.
So
me I tell you about me I drive with the driver and me did a free run about there and me see man like him get up out I see the people on the corner.
Them not drive already, man, and I have to drive over the other side of the road because the grass stretch over upon one side of the road like a one lane, and the grass on the side of the road stretch over there,
The whole of the road coming like a corner because there is no clearance where you see no way. It can't work so much. I don't know why people them all do, but they have to do something.
And the cow them a do the thing for man. Cow them want the cow them come eat grass.
But them have to give some farmer them some cow and some people some cow because that could have worked.
If you eat on the grass like what them do up on my yard. Some cow a mongo in my yard that I go and get 2 bread van and make a burger with the 2 of them.
What?
The cow them.
Oh.
Get 2 bread van and just clamp the cow between the 2 of them and make a big burger. Because them a damage up the things them.
Oh.
And walk come fight off all my dog. Yeah man, a terrible thing. And you tell them man, they say, look your brethren. You go out and you think them and yam down my plant them, you know. It's like them it's like you tell them bad word. And you know, you just tell them say just ease up and tie the thing somewhere else now. Because them think them man the cow and goat don't yam up the whole of the inside, you know. So I'm gonna buy things now left to eat. And you show them say, just brethren, you have to do something about it, you know. The man them are going like, oh, you could have said that. It's like you want me to invite the cow in your house.
I like plant them.
No man. I see a goat that eat some croton. And I say, and the dog them a bark, you know, if people a dog them a let go of them, say, but the dog them a bark and the goat just a go on like, you go and bark, you can't come out here, you know, so you boss penning inside and so.
Yeah man.
Anyway, I show you that them for fix it, them for chop down the grass them. Especially now like how the rain a bring up everything.
If I'm 1.5 times a year, 1 time a year in our work, Muta, it can't in our work.
Yeah. Well,
in our work.
Call me and say it tomorrow again. Call me tomorrow and say it again.
All right, sir.
Yeah, man, bless it, yeah?
Give thanks.